All right. Good morning. Thanks for doing the
Good
interview.
morning. Yeah, thank you for taking this one as well.
That's okay. What is it? How should I call you? Is it Sahil
Sahil.
or Syed? Sahil?
It's Sahil.
Sahil.
SHIL,
Sahil. Hi.
Sahil. Yep, it works.
Sahil. Hi. Okay. Hi. I'm Simon.
Hi.
All right.
Yeah, pleased to meet you.
Yeah.
I've
Nice
heard
to
a
meet you.
lot
Where do
about
you?
you. I've seen a lot of your reels actually
Oh,
on
really?
Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
all
okay.
your interviews.
Yeah, we're doing quite a few now, aren't we? I don't know how many we've done. It seems, maybe getting up to the 100 mark. I don't know, but good. So, how long have you been trading with FundedNext?
Somewhere around a year, more than a year actually. I
Okay.
started with a small size account and now I have somewhere 280K, which got scaled up eventually. Yeah.
Great.
Um,
Good to hear.
I've been a good client with FundedNext actually. It was one of my first firms. I used
Great.
some different firm, which was I think my forex fund, somewhere around that, which was my first account, and the second account was with FundedNext.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Good. All right. Good. Good to hear you found us and safe
Yeah.
trading. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Right.
been
Okay.
almost like 1.5 year, and it's been a great experience with FundedNext. Yeah.
Good to hear. Good to hear. I'm sure they'll be glad to hear that. So, all right. Let's make a start with the interview. So, are you happy with the questions that the guys sent you?
Yep. I'm happy with those.
Yeah.
Anything you would like to ask with me?
Sure. Okay. Great. All right. Well, maybe you could just introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about yourself. Where you're from. How long you've been trading. A bit of background, just to give us something so
Yep.
we know you.
Okay. So my name's Sahil. I'm 22 years old. I live in Mumbai, and I've been trading
Hmm.
the markets for somewhere around 4 years. And I've been trading the Indian markets for somewhere around 4 years, but the forex markets I've been trading somewhere around 2 years. I use concepts of liquidity, ICT, basically everything which is there on the internet. I've learned it all, and I try to form somewhere a different setup of mine. I have a fixed views and stuff, so I trade them.
Great.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So ICT trader. Good to hear.
Some sort of IC trader. There are a
Okay.
lot of derivatives of ICT available on the internet. So I've tried to like tailor it in my own way and used all these liquidity concepts as well.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's the way to take it. Read it, understand it, and then apply it in your own way. Yeah, that would make sense to
yeah.
you. Yeah, sure. Good stuff. So you're looking at what? Which FX pairs?
I usually trade the majors along with the indices. So I like to trade the indices during the NY Open, and for the majors, I target the liquidity zones, something like the New York Open, the London Open, or something like that. And then I
Hmm.
try to target the initial liquidity around the price. Maybe I could show you on a chart, which would be much easier for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, cool. So you're
Yep.
looking at trading what? FX, what, euro dollar, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
or
EU, GU, all these major pairs, the six major
yeah,
pairs, and the
yeah.
indices, Dow, NAS, as well as the S&P 500. I sometimes trade the other indices, the German 30, the FTSE as well, but
Yeah,
majorly I trade the US indices along with the majors. Since I
yeah.
have a
I
few
think
other futures
yeah,
accounts as well, so trading the indices are much easier option for me since it's the
yeah.
price has
Okay.
kind of
Oh, you're
stable.
a futures trader as well, are you? Right. Okay. Good to hear. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
yeah. I think the US indices work best with the ICT concept. So especially at the New York Open. Yeah.
Yeah. There are a lot of concepts made by ICT around the indices. For example, there's a silver bullet. There's something like Judah swing, the one more, the turtle soup, or all these setups. These kind of work well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Well, if you'd like to share your screen, that would be great. If you could maybe take us through
Yeah,
a past
surely.
setup, just to give
Yep.
us so we can see what your process is. Well, I assume you're like a day trader, yeah? You're just in and
Yeah, I
out.
usually day trade,
Yeah.
but I do have some
Yeah.
swing setups as well, so I'll share
Hmm.
those as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can
Okay.
see your screen. Yeah.
Okay, yep. So I'll just show you my basically I like to have an image of what I'm trading. So it's been like 1.5 years. So I have those images ready in my mind, and if I see some sort of a similar price action, I try to trade it. Okay. Um,
Hmm.
so these are
Great.
some of the
Okay.
examples.
This is your journal, is it? Yeah.
I do have a different journal, but this is some sort of a blur image of what I like to trade. These are the
Hmm.
liquidity models. If you see, these are bearish liquidity models. Something like a equal high, trend
Yeah.
line liquidity, some sort of that. And this
Hmm.
is the liquidity sweep setup, which says basically there are somewhere around 2 or 3 equal highs. So basically,
Yeah.
this is a range which creates liquidity, and there is a lot of liquidity present above these highs. So the price just taps in higher and then sweeps back on the downside.
Hmm. Yeah.
So this
Right.
is one of the setups, and if you see there are some high probability setups, this would be the usual setup, which says that the price is in an uptrend, the price is creating some liquidity, going back on the downside into an area of demand, or what some people also call an OB, and then the price
Hmm.
shoots back higher. So this is
Yeah.
some sort of a high probability trade. This is a supply demand flip, which says, let's say there is a price has some sort of a supply over here. I'd like to show you this one. Let's see, this is a
Hmm.
supply. The price breaks
Hmm.
above this supply. The supply becomes like a demand,
Yeah. Support.
and then
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
something like that, and then the price moves higher. These
Hmm.
setups work well when the price is quite trending and moving in a single direction. I do
Mm.
have some setups which work, which try to catch some reversals as well. I just like to show you that one. So okay, so this is one of those setups which says like, let's say the price has a high over here, and then there is one more high which is still protected. So let's say the price
Hmm.
is creating a downtrend, let's say lower high, higher lows, something like that. The price just sweeps the immediate high and then moves back down. This is somewhat similar to the turtle soup or the Judah swing entry, which ICT uses.
Yeah.
I like to use
Hmm.
this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
there
this
is
is
this
at a
one.
certain time of day, is it? Yeah. So you noted
Yeah,
there after 7
something.
p.m. Is that
Yeah.
7 p.m. your time? Yeah.
Yep, 7 p.m. my time. I'd like to show you
Hmm.
an example of that. So let's use this thing, the session range indicator basically. So it shows that the price is, let's say this one. This is a Monday morning. The price went higher and then swept
Hmm.
back the low somewhere around this region. So
Hmm.
it's basically targeting the range or the liquidity around the
Yeah.
opens. For example,
Yeah.
London Open actually tries to target one of the liquidity areas in the Asian range. And similarly, the New York Open tries to target the liquidity which is generated in the Asian and the London range, something like that. So
Hmm.
once I think if you have enough screen time, once you have enough screen time, you actually like to decide what your bias is, and then you can just maneuver the entire play. It's not always necessary to catch the top or the bottom. If you have captured the major chunk of the move with a good size, I think that's more than enough.
Hmm.
That's what I
Hmm.
believe.
No,
Though.
true.
So that is one of the setups. And I like to show you, this is the Asian range setup which I just showed you. Let's say this is the AS, which could be the Asian range of Thursday. The price moved higher somewhere around this region.
Mm.
If you see, the price is quite similar. This is the Asian range. The price moved higher. You have your SL right above the sweep, which would be the
Hmm.
sweep, and then you try to target the liquidity on the downside. So
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
say if you are sitting on the good trend, the entire higher time frame trend, you can also target some recent lows as well. But I usually
Hmm.
try to target the Asian low, which would
Yeah.
give me something like a 2 or a 3 hour, which is more than enough, I feel.
Yeah. No, yeah. Overnight session. Yeah. Or
Yeah.
Globex, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. That's a beautiful range to use as two liquidity pools. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it says, see, it says over here that try to take entries between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. IST, because this
Hmm.
is the actual London Open, which happens around the same time,
Hmm.
11 to 3. And if it comes
Yeah.
after 3 p.m., not to take it, because then that would be the liquidity for the London range at the New York
Yeah.
Open, as I said.
Hmm.
So something like
Good.
that. This is the VWAP setup, which basically I try to use sometimes. I did have an example for this one. I'd like to show you.
Okay. You bring in volume analysis as well into your setups. Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, this is something which I try to use when the markets are quite choppy and the price is like in a high liquidity, high resistance zone. Let's say the price is trending, but there are no OB or some sort of entries which are present right over here. So I try to use that. I'd like to show you my journal first. I think I have an entry in that. Okay, yeah, over here. This is the journal which I kind of used to use while on the
Hmm.
evaluation phase for some sort
Hmm.
of discipline, for keeping my discipline in check. And okay, if you can see, all these are my journal from last year when my account began
Hmm.
in May, June, July. So I have all these generalized trades. I'll show you
And
the
this
VR
is,
setup.
and these are following a particular setup. All these trades.
Yeah,
This is,
yep.
yeah.
These are following this particular setup. So if you
Hmm.
see, I'll just open up this one single trade over here, which says GBP USD, and it got me somewhere around 2 hour. And if you
Hmm.
see, most of the details are mentioned over here. It says the account, which is the FundedNext 200K, the pair. I
Yeah.
can choose all these pairs, GBP, EU, AU, or whichever pair I'm trading. Then
Hmm.
I can decide the long or the short, the day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, along with the time when I'm trading, basically the Asian range,
Hmm.
London Open, New York Open or the London close, something like that. Then I can also mention my risk somewhere around 0.5% or 1%. I usually try to take trades with just 1%, nothing more than that. And I can also put my commission swaps, all these data over here. Then okay, so we are talking about the VWAP trade, right? Okay, so how this works is basically I try to allow the price to actually settle along with the VWAP, because I think a VWAP is an intraday indicator, since the volume every day is kind of different, so it takes time to settle. If you see every day the VWAP gets reset and it
Yeah, it
opens
gets
with the price.
resets every day. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I like to let it settle somewhere around the London Open. Let's say it takes time, the entire Asian range kind of time to settle it. And then around the London Open, when the price has swept some sort of liquidity, let's say the price has swept these lows or something like that, a trend is set basically. So now with the entire London session, the price will actually try to move in that same direction as a high liquidity, high resistance zone. So at these times, the price kind of moves back higher, taps into the VWAP. And if you have an OB or some sort of, let's say, it says find a suitable FEG or OB near the VWAP, allow the price to settle and respect the VWAP. And before taking the trade, ensure there's no overhead supply.
Yeah,
So if you
you're just
see,
using it as a confluence. Yeah.
yeah, so these are the ways in which I try to like minimize my risk and like actually be a bit more choosy while taking a trade. So if you see, there is no overhead supply over here because these are kind of equal highs. So it is quite definitive that the price will actually move back higher to at least
Yeah.
take out these highs,
Yeah,
which
it's a nice
actually
target, isn't
happened.
it? Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, that's a
even on
nice
the higher
journal.
time frame, it works. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
I
good.
used to use these while I'm on the evaluation phase, since I didn't have much discipline like last year. But after, I use a tailored approach for my live accounts, which is quite different from what I trade over here. For example, I could show you one more of my trades. See, AUD CAD, similar stuff. I can also mention my account size over here. Let's say after the trade, my account is at 202K. And then you can also type out some comments. Let's say if I'm in a trade, I need to know what my psychology is, how I'm trading, and what is going around in my mind. So I like to type it out. Good job adding size at the pullback. Need to work better with executions. You are around cost, reduce risk, and trade with only 0.5 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very good. I like it. That's a great journal. I'm sure that's helped a lot.
Yeah, actually, this is one of the reasons I actually cleared the account, because it generated that discipline in my mind. Because every time I take a trade, I had to journal it. So keeping that in mind, I actually never over traded and took extra trades. So because I knew I had to journal them and type it out that I did something wrong over there.
It instills the discipline because you don't want to type up a silly trade. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
No, that's great. That's a good self-imposed discipline. I like that. Yeah, great.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and also I could actually tag all these setup tags as well. So if you see, there is the ICT 2022 model, the turtle soup, Judah swing, whichever setup which I was trading back then. And also like it says impulsive, so which means that I took an impulsive entry or something like that. Yeah. So these are the things which I actually use for my journaling, and this has actually helped me. So this is journal for somewhere around 3 or 4 months, which actually built that discipline in my mind, and then I actually stopped it because I used a tailored approach in my lives. This is the live actually.
So what's your win rate like?
My win rate is
have you got any
somewhere around.
statistics?
Yep. I do have a win rate of somewhere around the 60% with a RR ratio of 1:3, 1:2, 1:3. But in my live accounts, I use a tailored approach. I like to secure my profits. Let's say, since I have a good 280K size account, 200K size account before as well, I like to secure my account with a 1% or 2%. And hence, I used a tailored approach of, let's say, getting an 80% with a minimum 1:1, 1:1.5 R, which actually secured my profits every time. So I can show you that to you over here. I'll show you that to you. Just give me a second. Yep. This is the FundedNext actually PDF, which actually helped me as well. The prop trader
secrets. Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's a good read, I feel.
Yeah, no, I've looked at it. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, here are the analytics of my live account. So I think it's loading. Yep. It started somewhere around in October 26. So let's say it's been like 9 months since then. And I secured my first profit in December with it actually took like 2 months to actually go through the entire process and dissolve, actually settle in my mind with the 280k, 200k account, and hence it took a good time to get my first payout. So if you see, after the first payout, there have been a lot of flat days because I like to secure my profits. Even over here, when the account is up somewhere around 3%, I've had all these flat days because I like to lock in those profits with 1 or 2% and then try to trade with a fresh mind again and again.
Yeah,
So
understand.
yeah,
Okay.
that's it. So it scaled up somewhere around in, I'll just check it again. It scaled up in December. So I'm planning to get one more scale up, hopefully. I had actually all these things planned over here. If you see, this is the road to scale up kind of thing. So I like to note down all my profits separately over
Yeah.
here. And then let's say I need 20k to get my scale up, which is the 10% on a 200k. I like to just type it down over here and then let's plan the next payout, which I'd like to get with the size which I need. So if you see, this is the 280k to 390k scale up kind of roadmap, which says since I've got all these payouts already, let's say I got this $2904 payout on Friday, and for the next few payouts, for the next 6 payouts, I just need 200 to actually get the scale up. Because the 10% on a 280k would be, let's say, 28k minus the total amount of payouts which I've already received. So it kind of helps me to actually settle my mind and let me know that
Yeah.
what is
No,
my target.
I like it. Very organized. You got the forecast all set out. You know where you're going. I like it. That's good.
Yeah, I like to keep it that way, and so that it actually settles my mind and gives me that emotional strength to be in a trade while I'm trading.
Okay.
So yeah.
Great. Can we see the stats inside of here? Is it if you go to?
Actually, I took a payout just on Friday, so it won't
okay.
show the stats.
Okay. It doesn't show. Okay, fine. No, don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can show
all right.
you
Well,
something.
thanks for sharing that. That's great.
I can share the payout certificates kind of thing if you want. See, if you see all these payouts are just from single account, which I just said, I like to maintain that 1 or 2%, and all these accounts are the same thing. Which I have somewhere around 11 payouts, and it's been a great experience, kind of, because all these payouts were received under 24 hours, which is the best thing.
I was going to
like
ask, you happy with the speed of the payout? Quite clearly you are.
I'm
Yes.
absolutely happy with the speed of the payouts. Actually, once I got a payout in just 1 hour, and actually for me as a trader, the main time is when you request a payout and you actually not don't get it in time. Because in that one day or like in those few hours, you think that maybe you won't get a payout or something like that.
Yeah.
But with FundedNext, it's always been like, if you see, these payouts have been received in just an hour.
Yeah, I see. Under an hour. Yeah.
It's been like a great experience with that. So that's the best
Good.
thing I like about FundedNext.
Yeah, I think that's one thing we pride ourselves on is the speed of the payout. So yeah, that's good to hear that you're happy with that. Great. Okay,
Yeah.
you're happy with the spreads on the CFDs? You're happy with the NAS spread and the euro dollar spread?
Yeah, I'm happy with the spreads, but I think there could be a good scope of improvement over there because I think during some high liquidity areas, the NAS or the US Dow spreads actually turn in higher. Maybe if we could see basically a futures firm with FundedNext, that would be the best thing to happen. That would
be the best. That would be the best solution, wouldn't it, to trade the indices? Yeah, or maybe just try to trade with the CFDs. Yeah.
It's a bit tough to actually scalp in and out if you're trading the CFDs.
Yes.
Instead with futures, it's quite easy since
Oh,
there
yes,
are
I agree.
practically zero spreads, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, no, futures is zero. You just pay the commission. Where of course the CFD is commission free, but there is a spread. Yes. So.
Yep.
Okay, great. Thanks for sharing your dashboard. That's great to see the speed of the payouts and also the journal that's fantastic. Very disciplined. What do you think was the turning point in your trading? What made you profitable?
I think the main part which actually helped me in trading is basically developing a system. And basically, when I started last 2 years back, I was actually absorbing all the content over there on the internet, and I was looking all these videos, trying to shift to different setups and stuff. But I feel once you have a fixed definitive setup, you have an image of what you're trying to trade. After that, it's quite easy since you already developed your system. If you have the stats, let's say after all these stats, let's say all these 3 or 4 months, now I know what my win rate is. Now I know what my RR is basically. So after that, you can actually maneuver with the size and play with the risk management. once you don't have the fixed RR or the win rate available with you, you don't have the stats with you, you don't actually know what your win rate is basically. So you can't play with the risk management. You can't risk more, like let's say 1% or 2% a trade or 0.5%. You'll have to play with the RR and stuff. So I feel that developing a system is the main thing, and that's it. Let's say after that, keeping a detailed journal will help you stay in discipline and patience. Nothing else. You need to be patient
Patience.
with your setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There will
indeed.
be a few months when your setup won't work, and in those months you have to stick with your risk management. Actually, let it play the entire month. Let's say if you have your risk management in check, you still won't blow it. That's what I see.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah. Okay. You can stop sharing your screen if you wish. If I don't think there's anything else we need to see. Very
Actually,
good.
I was seeing my own screen through your screen.
Yeah,
And
I
I was
know.
like,
I know.
okay.
It's complicated, isn't it? You get that sort of mirror effect. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you've taken some of the ICT concepts. Was there one video or one concept that really helped?
It was in the later stage, basically, when I used these ICT concepts. But actually, I had a different trading community back then as well, which actually helped me to maneuver and I try to understand all these things. But I actually never saw all these entire videos. I feel the ICT videos are quite big, and I try to watch the
They are.
derivatives of them. Let's say a few of these would be FS SMC, Casper SMC, all these are the names which actually try to create derivatives of the ICT models. One of the model would be the Judah swing or the turtle soup. So I try to trade the turtle soup, but I have a different approach towards it. I have maneuvered it in my way. And the OT model is also something which many of the people use. The OT model is basically when you try to capture the entire wave of the move. Let's say the price is uptrending, it is trying to create higher highs, lower lows, something like higher highs, higher lows, something sort after that sort. And when the price creates a higher low, you try to tap into that OT range and try to play the uptrend. That is one of the setup which I use for the swing. I do have a few screenshots of the trades which I've took in the similar manner. So yeah, that's one.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thanks. Okay. Well, I think that's probably enough of your time we've taken up. So thank you for taking the time to do the interview, and good luck with the scale up to the next level. And yeah, hope to speak to you again.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sahil.
Thank you. Surely. Yep.
Okay.
Thank you for this
See
opportunity.
you. Thanks. Bye.